What 100% ruins a movie for you every time? Action SFX music. Added love story to an adaptation of a book with no love story. Having to constantly have my remote in hand to turn down the absurdly loud action scene. To then have to crank the volume for the next dialogue that is far too low. I'm fucking sick of it. Badly implemented product placement. Product placement itself doesn't bother me. If there's a character driving a Toyota or eating a Pizza Hut pizza, I don't care. If there's a pointless shot in the movie that shows the fucking Bud Light logo for 10 seconds, I mind. Maybe not 100%, but close to it. Fight scenes where someone make a big blow, usually the villain, but instead of finishing the deal by smashing the brains out they start talking, bragging or some other cocky shit. And whoops. The fight is back on like nothing happened. Unnecessary love scenes where the main character and a side character fall in love just cause. Despite having known each other for like 5 minutes. When the villain is always a few steps ahead of the hero for no reason. Somehow, the villain has managed to predict every move the hero and is going to make. When the movie calls for an ugly guy, they get an ugly guy. When the movie calls for an ugly girl, they get a sexy girl and dress her in dumpy clothes. When it's very obvious when someone isn't actually having a conversation on the phone. They just say their lines without giving enough pause for the other person to respond. I also hate when you're supposed to be looking at security footage but it's clearly just a previous shot that's had a filter put over it. When things explode for no reason. Vehicle had minor collision or simply rolls over and spontaneously explodes. Wow, great response guys. The hatred runs deeper when I think of how easily bad guys. Hot wire. Cars in movies also. Sounds bad but an actor's voice can really ruin a movie for me. So bad voice acting. The bit where hackers take 20 seconds of furious typing to disable a country's infrastructure. When one character who's an expert in some field stops to explain the most basic concepts to another character who's also an expert on the same subject. Action scenes with lots and lots of cuts that make it obvious or appear like the actors can't do the fight choreography. When the premise for a major conflict in the movie is something that any sane person would have just said, "Oh no, there's a misunderstanding," and they all have a laugh and go on with their days. But instead it turns into some convoluted drama. Video games. In movies that are set after 1988 yet they all sound like Pac-Man or Space Invaders. The very strong, smart main villain turning weak dumb in the end fight so the heroes can win. There's no time. Save yourself. When there's clearly ample amount of time for both characters to get to safety. Made even worse by the fact that they usually waste a minute or more arguing about it. Saying teary-eyed goodbyes, and making out before character 1 finally gets up and leaves. When the trailers reveal most of the plot. Bad exposition dialogue. As the son of Goodperson, you shouldn't do drugs here. Cletus, you're my sibling. I've taken care of you since parent died and OTHERPARENT left us. Remember how we would play at home place, but you had to move away because job. Well, Mickey, the MOSTWANTEDCRIMINAL. At my doorstep. What's the matter? Didn't your parent cut you any more slack? So you've traveled here from place to see your sibling, my spouse. Edit. Brackets. When the protagonist will kill anyone in his way but when he gets to the big bad suddenly killing is wrong. It was a dream. When there is a timer and it takes longer to count down than the time that was called shown. It drives me crazy. Generic example. 50 seconds until a bomb explodes. Dialogue for 30 seconds. Timer is showing 30 seconds left. More dialogue for 40 seconds. Timer is at 5 seconds. Quick one-liner. Bomb defused with 1 second to go. Just 10 seconds left before the bomb explodes. The hero is taking all the time in the world to kiss and hug his girlfriend a last goodbye before returning to deactivate the bomb. Forced romance subplots in a non-romance based movie. A baby. A hero I'm supposed to root for because they're the protagonist? The villain doesn't have a reason. They're just random and crazy. Insane plot armor. It's okay for a main character to die. When all you have to do is beat the boss and the entire army just collapses. Pretty much every alien and robot using invasion has this hive concept. When they explain the plans like, to an 8-year-old. I like movies where things just happen. In horror movies, too many jump scares. Mentioning other movies. Especially when an inferior movie brings up a superior movie it was clearly inspired by. Except this works in comedies. Sometimes. Fake food props. Like ice cubes that fall to the bottom of the glass or those weird eggs Clark Kent was cooking for Lois. When there's a 20+ year age gap between the leading actor and actress and it's not addressed in the movie. Especially when the movie pretends like they're around the same age. We're both experienced. Leading scientists in our fields. Even though I look like a grizzled war veteran and you're fresh off the set of High School Musical. When bad guys have no redeemable qualities. It's too convenient and unrealistic. My little bitch-ass cousin asking me a question every 30 seconds. Like I don't know Garrick. I've never seen the movie either. How TF would I know the answer to the question the script clearly wants you to ask yourself about and will be revealed if you just shut up and watch? Like bro, you are 16. Figure out cinema structure shit. When they have the chance to easily finish the bad guy off. No, not like that. But they run away. The only film I remember that didn't was a British film called Severance. A character literally runs back with a shotgun and blows his head off as he's stuck. We only use 10% of our brain. I can often tell when actors carry fake, well, empty suitcases. And even when they carry empty to-go cups. There's just something different in the way their body's muscles work then. Jesus Christ. It's a $50 million movie. How hard would it be to fill the cup and toss a couple of bricks in the suitcase? Someone who thinks they aren't spoiling stuff by constantly going, watch what's about to happen. Twist villains where the bad guy is revealed in the last 10 minutes of the movie. You ever stream a movie and the audio is a split-second delayed? It's hard to notice at first, but once I do I can't handle it. The preview. The movies I've enjoyed the most have almost always been the ones I know nothing about ahead of time. James Corden. Unnecessary sex scenes. When the jokes are so forced. They're just trying as hard to be funny that it isn't. Or when they're offensive or just downright stupid. Totally ruins it. Unfortunately, a lot of comedy movies have tons of this, so I tend to steer clear of comedies. Character A. Perfectly understandable explanation for something technical or scientific. That anyone who managed to dress themselves this morning could comprehend. Character B. In English, please. Character A. Extremely dumbed down version because screenwriter assumes audience are idiots. They hang up the phone without any warning. Like, Bob. We discovered a nuke on its way to Washington, click. Or someone answering the door within a couple seconds of knocking. These things completely break me out of the movie and are hard to recover from. Any movie with children where the bad guy would be defeated in the first act if any nearby responsible adults would just verify what the children are saying. A series of unfortunate events made me want to tear my hair out. Edit. A lot of people are pointing out that irresponsible adults is the point of ASOUE. I am well aware of that. And that is specifically why I didn't like it, seeing as it's one of my biggest pet peeves turned up to 11.